What's the wisdom you have from all your time so far?
Don't count the number of times you've been knocked down. Get attached to the number of times you get up.
All right.
Like,
I'm going to get these truth bombs all day.
Right. Boom, 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 boom.
I love it. I'm curious now because you didn't start out, with a lot of money and with a lot of abundance mindset, did you?
Right. It wasn't just not a lot of money. It's one thing to be fiscally broke. It's another thing to be emotionally broken. Two very different things. Right. And I was broke and broken. And in 1994, I had to go get on government's assistance just to feed my newborn baby. I had to get on WIC, Women, Infant, and Children. And I still say it, and I say it often. I was interviewed 155 times in 5 months for my previous book, No Matter What, and it still hits me in the same place. I was ashamed to stand in line with all the other mothers, some fathers, to get free butter, free cheese, free milk, free pasta. But at the same time, I was grateful that there was such a service to help people like me, that I knew this wasn't where I was going to stay.
Right.
But it was where I was in that moment. I wasn't committed to take up real estate there, but it was my current address, and broken. It kind of hit I felt like I hit the bottom, and sometimes you feel your back on the bottom, like, I think that's the bottom, right?
And then there's always a deeper.
Yeah, right. So when I was getting food stamps, I thought I was at the bottom. Mm-hmm. And then
you were boom,
right. I went to the ATM. I ran out of Pampers for my son Jelani, and I went to the ATM to get money to go buy Pampers, and it said insufficient funds. And I had $11.42 in the bank.
What's the minimum? You can take out $20 in an ATM?
Exactly. You need
like
20 in to get 20 out.
Wow.
And I had $11.42. And so I went home, and I had to wrap my son Jelani for 2 days in a series of different towels. That was my rock bottom. And that was because as a parent, all you want to do is provide. That's it. It's simple. I just want to provide safety and food for my baby. Somebody else was providing my food, and I didn't even have Pampers. And I remember on the second day of wrapping my son in the towel, Louis, I put my hand over his stomach, and I said, "Don't worry, Jelani," with tears streaming down my face. I said, "Don't worry, son. Mommy will never, ever be this broke again." And so you talk about having financial resources. I realized that I needed to first believe that I could do something different, that wherever my mindset was, my bank account was going to follow. So I needed to change my mental zip code.
What was your mental zip code then?
Scarcity, lack. I was born and raised in South Central LA. I grew up between the Harlem Crip 30s and the Rolling 60s. I had 3 fights a week to get home from school. My highest grade in school was a C+. In 12 years of school, my highest grade was a C+. And so if you ever tell this story to anybody, don't forget my plus. Don't forget my plus. It's very important to a C student, to an A student.
I was a C and D student.
Right.
So I get it.
To an A student, it doesn't matter. Like plus, whatever. But to a C student, the plus matters, man.
I get it.
So I struggled. Everything in my life was about a hustle. Everything. Nothing was easy except the love for my family. That was easy and effortless and graceful and bountiful, but everything else outside of that, it was a hustle, get or get got. It was the environment I grew up in. And I'm not saying that you have to grow up in that rough environment to have an amazing future. People always say, well, Lisa, I didn't have it rough. Could I have a... Listen, I would have traded my background in for anybody. Right. Don't think I chose that so I can have this. And so I didn't know abundance. I didn't know abundance existed. I didn't know abundance could happen to people who look like me. A woman, geographically, from my neighborhood, I didn't know abundance can be that. I didn't see it around me. I didn't know abundance could be for someone that was in my culture. Everything was about survival and hustle. So it was so many things. And spiritually, I didn't know that someone who loved God, who had a spiritual foundation, can also have prosperity without being perceived as greedy. I mean, everything in my environment said not me. Everything said not me. If I listened to the sound effects.
Right.
And sometimes you just got to turn the volume down and listen to your heart. Right.
So what was the conversation you would tell yourself during this time when you're in this scarce zip code?
Someone like me can't have it. Them over there, that guy right there, he comes from the right family. Right. That girl right there, her skin color's the right complexion. That I'm full-figured, a mocha skin, full lips, round hip, kinky hair girl. Nah, not me. No, I get other things. I get a bountiful family. I get great children if I want. I get closeness to God, but I don't get abundance. And I realize that so much of that conversation was embedded in me before I was 5. I mean, it just comes with the territory. Right. I would watch my grandmother make a dime go in 20 different directions, and I never wondered about having 21 dimes. I just wanted to grow up and make my dime go in 20 different directions to be like grandma. And so much is culturally inherited, gender inherited. As a woman, you're not raised to make millions. You're raised to either get a good job or get a man with a good job,
right.
you know, and
especially in the 80s and 90s.
Absolutely, and that's how we were raised. Yeah. Spiritually, you're taught, you know, in my background, my religious background, now I'm spiritual, I'm not attached to a religion at all, but growing up in the Mount Tabor Missionary Baptist Church, it was, you know, money is the root of all evil. Well, who would want a lot of that? And that good
who
people.
Wants evil?
Exactly, who wants evil? And if that's what you say, then I learned that I don't need it. And Sister Brown, I watched Sister Brown, and Sister Brown was the most godly woman in the church, and she was always selling fish dinners and barbecue dinners to make sure she had enough money. And so unconsciously I wanted to be like Sister Brown because that woman can pray the heavens down. And so then again, I'm looking at that. And then in my neighborhood, it was the moment you get a little extra, you give it away. You give it away. Still to this day, I kid you not, one of my last opportunities, I don't call them challenges, opportunities, is I'm in the top 1% earners in America, and I say that humbly. I'm grateful, and my job now is to learn how to keep it and grow it because I love to give it away, and I know it's a learned behavior. It's a learn, and I give it away to good things. I just put $82,000 and revamped my grandmother's whole house because I knew she wasn't gonna move. She gonna live. That's where she gonna rest in peace. She's gonna stay right there. She's been at that house since 1968. Yeah. She's not going anywhere. So I just redid the entire house, gutted out the entire house, and spent close to $100,000 doing it. And I'll do that over and over and over and over again because I also was taught give it away. So now I'm going to people who are more powerful in money in terms of I know how to make a lot. I know how to keep a lot. Now I want to learn how to grow a lot. Yeah. You know, and being willing and being humble enough to say that's where I am. Yeah. I got the first 2 down because money has 3 levels. How do you earn it? How do you keep it? And how do you grow it? Yeah. And so, you know, I had a conversation for a long time in many different ways. And then it's the conversation as a woman. If I make so much, it's going to be hard to be dateable. That big D word, you know, and so as an African American,
unapproachable now.
Exactly, and men are taught, as I'm taught as a woman about money, you're taught as a man, be the provider. Well, you know, it's kind of hard to provide for a G like me. You know, when I come in, I go, how about we just put it together? Because I'm kind of cool on the provision thing, you know, and so I realize that men have to also feel comfortable with the fact that that's an 80s conversation. And in 2015, she might make
2016
millions.
now.
Right, 2016.